living a life of crime, lies, deceit, disloyalty. Fake niggas fucked up the streets with all this poison. Anything pop off, motherfuckers recording it. Broke bitches choicing. Damn, my mama warned me. Damn, I should've listened.
Raise your right hand. You something for the same, you about to give me the truth, the whole truth, but the truth, so if you got.
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
State your name for the record.
Kayla Buckner.
You can put your hand down.
And just lean toward the microphone if you would, so that everybody can hear you, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, Kayla, how old are you?
I am 25.
25 years old. Okay. And where were you born?
Sorry?
Where were you born?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay. And did you go to high school in Nashville?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you graduate there?
Yes.
Okay. Did you do any college afterwards?
Yes, I went to Center College. It is a private liberal arts school in Danville, Kentucky. I did 3 years there.
Okay. And what years were you there in school? Do you remember?
Not really.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh yeah.
What was your major?
Psychology.
Okay. All right. And do you have parents?
Yes.
Mom and dad?
Yes.
Okay. Do you stay in contact with your mom and dad?
Yes.
Okay. Where's mom and dad?
Nashville.
Okay. How often do you see your mom?
It varies. I wouldn't say it's a consistent pattern, just whenever we cross paths.
Okay. How often do you talk to her?
Maybe like 3 times a month.
Okay. So a few times per month.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you ever go to Nashville and visit her?
Yes.
Okay. When was the last time you did a visit?
I think last year.
Okay. Has she been here to visit you?
Yes.
Do you remember the last time she's been here to visit you?
I think it was 2021. We had a get together at our house and she came over.
At the house in Atlanta?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Was it typical? So how long have you known Mr. Bishop?
I've known him for 6 years.
Okay. And when did you first meet him?
I first met him in 2018
Okay.
in Eligio, Mexico.
In Mexico?
Yes.
Okay. And that was in person?
Yes.
Okay. How did you get there?
How did I get there?
Yes, ma'am.
I flew.
Okay. And were you a student in college at that time?
No, actually, after my last semester, my junior year of college, I actually left school and then started to do my own thing, started to have my own soap business, and then I met this patient.
Like a soap, a cleansing type of soap?
Yes, natural herbal products. I started my own business.
Okay. All right. Are you still in business?
No, I no longer do that anymore.
Okay. All right. And you were only, I guess, 1 year away from a psychology degree?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 2018, you ended up going to Mexico, and you have been around Mr. Bishop since that time frame?
Sorry?
Since 2018, have you been around Mr.
Yes.
Bishop? Have you lived with him since then?
Yes.
Okay. In 2018 until now, have you come across anybody named Elvin Marquez?
Yes. That's his baby mother. They have a daughter together.
Okay. Have you come across a Kendra Carter?
Yes, I have.
Okay. What was her name?
Kendra Carter.
Yeah. What name?
Oh, her name was we called her Sheba. Her name was Sheba.
Okay. And Brianna Jacobs.
Yes.
Okay. And did Brianna Jacobs have a name?
Yes, I think it was Syrian.
Syrian? Okay. So I'm going to start with Brianna Jacobs.
Okay.
Was Brianna Jacobs around you guys for a long period of time?
No.
Okay. About how long do you think she was around?
I would say a couple months.
Okay. And what cities was she around?
When we went to Las Vegas, she was with us in Las Vegas and Mexico.
Okay.
That's it. Then she left.
All right. Did she ever reach out to the group after she left to try to join the group back again, if you recall?
I think she reached out to someone. She called back, but I'm not sure who.
Okay. All right. And then Kendra Carter, was she around the group as long as you?
She was actually there before me.
Okay, so before 2018, Kendra Carter was there?
Yes.
Okay. And she left the group in 2022?
I think around that time.
Okay. And then Velvet Marquez, she was around the group for on and off times as well?
Yeah, she would leave and come back most of the time, but she was there before me as well. When I first came, she had just had a baby,
Okay.
and but she left and come back a lot of times because of she struggled dealing with polygamy. So
Okay. So she didn't like the fact that Mr. Bishop was with a lot of different women.
yeah, he would always she knew that he was polygamous when she entered, wanted to be with him. But once, other women started to come in, she would just get really upset out of nowhere. And I thought it was really dangerous because she would just try to walk off in the middle of nowhere because, we live in nature, live in the jungle. You drive 45 minutes just to get to our home. So she would just try to walk off, not call anyone to get a flight, not, take the proper precautions to actually leave. She would just do it out of anger.
Okay. And would she try to leave with the baby as well?
Yes,
Okay.
with no clothes on the baby, no clothes on her.
Okay.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And this was when she would see Mr. Bishop with other women, she would get upset with this.
Yes, she would try. She would try, but she would still just get upset.
Okay. She would try to keep her control.
Yeah, she would try to be in a polygamous relationship because they had a beautiful relationship. Like, they loved each other very deeply. And she couldn't deal with her jealousy.
Okay. Do you ever remember seeing her parents come to Mexico?
Yes, they did come in Mexico.
Okay. Did they come to the house you guys were staying in?
No, they didn't come to the house. Their baby, they actually went out to get her checked up, and they ran into her family there, and we seen it. Mr. Bishop, he was actually live that day,
Okay.
and I seen them. They were in the car. They went out to eat to a restaurant, and they were just getting to know each other, and they was making sure that she was okay. She was just letting them know that everything is okay.
Okay. And this was all recorded on live as well?
Yes, this is all recorded.
Okay. All right. So I'll address that right now. So on live, was that something that happened frequently?
Yes, that's actually how I found him on live on social media. So I seen that he taught on social media, and everyone else had their own platform to teach on social media.
Okay.
And when I arrived, that was we was pretty much live all the time. Like, everything was online.
Okay. Before I forget, I'm gonna. Now, for the show the witness, judge, 2 photos.
Yes.
You take a look at those. You recognize those?
Oh yes, this is
Just say if you recognize it.
oh yes, I recognize it.
Okay. What are those?
These pictures, one picture is May 15th. My mom, she came down to see me for my birthday. I don't know if it was May 15th, but the year is 2020. She came down to see me. She met Mr. Bishop. She met everyone in the family. She's very familiar with everyone in the family.
Okay.
And then the second one.
These pictures, have they been edited or deleted or modified in any way?
No.
Okay. Judge, I moved to 10 of these 2 photos, which I would mark as Defense Exhibit 3 and 4, which are photographs you identified.
Any objection? All right, they're admitted.
So I'm going to give you back the photos. These are pictures of you and your mother?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And these photos were taken, according to you, where were they taken?
One was at our house in the Decatur address,
Okay.
and the other one was at another house in Atlanta, I believe.
All right.
And can you read the dates on the bottom of those 2 photos?
Yes, the first one says 2020, and then the next one says 2021.
Okay, and do you recall where you were in 2020 and 2021?
Yes, we were here in Atlanta. The first one we were staying with someone, and then this one, this was at the house that the police actually came to detain us, the night of this whole situation.
Judge, may I pass this to the jury so they can look through it?
Any objection? Go ahead. No, we'll have it back here during deliberation. So I don't want them, are you done with the witness?
I'm not.
Okay, all right, you go ahead.
Okay, so mom she came to visit you, you guys took pictures, she knew where you lived at.
Right.
Okay. Did you have a phone during that time frame?
Did I have a phone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I always have a phone. Everyone has a phone.
Okay. Were people able to call their family if they wanted to?
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody has their own social media platform and had open communication with not only their family, but everyone on social media with the world.
Okay, because everybody's watching now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you required to use the bathroom outside? That's been something the state brought up. Were you required to go outside and poop in a hole?
Was I required?
Yes.
No. Mr. Bishop, he teaches how to be more connected to the earth, but he doesn't make anybody do anything.
Okay.
He doesn't make anybody do anything. And the thing about Mr. Bishop is that everything that he believes in, his lifestyle, he posted it all on social media. So everyone who watches Mr. Bishop online, they're very aware of his diet, how he eats, how he sleeps, and how he lives his life.
Okay.
So,
If he were asleep, could other people be awake or vice versa? Was everybody required to go to bed at the same time as him and be awake?
No, he just, like I said, everything that his lifestyle and the journey that he took upon himself, he decided that he wanted to go to sleep when it was dark.
Hold on.
Well, it's already been
What's the-
responsive once I objected, so we drop the objection as long as it stays responsive.
Okay, go ahead, finish your answer.
Let me rephrase the question.
Okay.
Did you have autonomy within the group to do what you felt like you needed to do?
Yes, I did. Yes.
All right.
Everyone believed in going to sleep when the sun goes down. We were living more in human nature.
Okay.
And you could go to sleep whenever you wanted to. Everybody was adults and knew what they were doing and could do what they wanted to do.
And it was all recorded every day?
Everything was recorded.
Okay. And was the platform, was it something that the world could see inside the life of Mr. Bishop and the group that was with him?
Yes.
Okay. Now, during the time that you were in the group, the 6 years, did you ever see anybody, did Mr. Bishop hitting anybody or acting in a physically violent way toward other people?
No, I've never seen Mr. Bishop do that. I have seen women actually abuse him. I've seen that. There's a video of his baby mother, Baylor Marquez, punching him in the face. And there's a lot of videos online of the abuse and violence that people brought in his life. It's just that he gets blamed for everything because he's the initiator of the movement and people came into his life, so everybody puts the blame on him.
Okay. But you never saw him direct women to hit other people on his behalf?
I have to explain that before I answer because we did start a documentary before this whole case occurred. We were making a documentary. So we made videos for content to grab people's attention online so that we can show them the real teachings of, what we believe in. So we did that for content, for attention grabber.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But no one off camera was being injured, hurt, abused, or anything along those lines?
No.
You didn't see anybody in a park being body slammed for 45 minutes? Or anything like that?
No.
Okay. All right. So let's jump forward to Mobile production. So in the group, what was your responsibility? Did you cook, clean, do acting, dancing, singing?
Yeah, I love art, so I did a lot of painting. Sorry, I did a lot of painting, dancing. I like to teach. I did a lot of presentations. We did this thing one time. It was called it was a woman empowerment thing, and I was kind of over it. And I would like teach the women how it was important to be in tune with the earth and embrace their natural selves. So I feel like just teaching. I like to teach and teach.
Were you on camera frequently?
Yes,
Was Delvin Marquez on camera frequently?
yes, very frequently.
What about Caleb Butler?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm capable.
I'm sorry, not Caleb Butler. What about Kendra Carter? I'm sorry.
Yes, everybody who was in his personal life was
On a daily basis?
Yes,
All recorded?
yes,
Okay. All right. Could you leave the house if you wanted to?
yes.
Could you go to the store, for instance?
Yeah, me and my sister, we actually had the car by ourselves and would go grocery shopping. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
So that wasn't an unusual thing?
no,
It wasn't that you had to stay there at the house and only the guys could go or anything like that?
no, it was just that when we lived in the jungle, like we had a car, and if we needed groceries, the guys would just go and get it. So, we could stay at home, but it wasn't like we weren't able to or we were being held somewhere. It wasn't that.
And in Atlanta, were the women, or was it just the guys that got to go to the grocery store?
In Atlanta,
Yes, ma'am.
both. I remember both because when the police kept doing wellness checks, I remember one. We were actually in a car. They had came to us in a car. They were like, "We obviously see that y'all are in the car. He's not even around y'all because our what we call online critics. We have hate groups because we're on social media."
Objection, relevance, and not responsive.
Non-responsive.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sustained.
Sure. So did you have groups of people that didn't like you?
That would be objection relevance.
What's the relevance?
Well, Judge, we've gone through the same scenario with every witness.
Well, then it's cumulative.
Okay, well, I'll ask you differently.
Okay.
The police officer that you came across, were you in a car coming from the grocery store that
Yes, we were.
day? Okay. Did the police officer come to do a wellness check on you?
Yes,
Okay, were you well?
yes.
Okay. There was no one arrested for falsely imprisoning you or anything like that?
No, they would. The online trolls or the hate groups would.
She has the right to explain her answer.
What,
I can't explain.
okay, but how does she, what's the foundation that,
She doesn't need a foundation to explain her answer.
well, I'm going to sustain the objection.
I would ask on what grounds I was to say it.
That I think she still needs a foundation to be able to explain why she believes she's saying these things. So that's the ruling.
Well,
No, don't say anything. You can ask another question
Okay.
or ask it differently.
Okay, sure. Were there groups that would falsely report things that were happening?
yes.
Objection. That's the same.
Council approach. Deputies, if anybody is acting up, you have my permission to remove them from the boardroom.
Nobody's acting on behalf of Mr. Bishop, Judge.
I didn't say anybody on behalf of anybody. I said anybody in the courtroom who's any outbursts, anything. The deputies have my permission to remove them from the courtroom.
Yeah, sure. All right, Ms. Butler, so you are able to leave as you so desire, right?
Yes, actually, left a couple of times.
Okay. And when you say you left going to visit your mom or other places?
Yes.
Okay. And were you gone for extended periods of time?
Maybe a couple days.
Okay, all right. Okay, so everything's kept online. Everybody has their own device, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving forward to March 24th, 2022, were you at the house that day?
Yes, I was.
Okay. What do you recall happening at the house? Let me ask you a better question. Let me go back again.
Yes, we were both actually close. We were close friends.
Okay. And what was the name that she went by? Okay. How long was she in the group for? Or was she in the group on and off?
She was in the group on and off for about maybe 2 years. I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
Estimately.
Okay. So,
But I remember she had started like her own journey in Thailand and stuff even before coming.
okay. March 24th, 2022, was there any guests or visitors in the house or anything like that?
Yes, we had one guest.
Okay. And can you tell me what you remember about the interaction between Ms. and Mr. Bishop on the 24th of March 2022?
Their interaction.
Yeah, when did you see them together? Was this even the house?
Yes, I can explain the night.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we had a guest over, and one thing about Natia was anytime we had guests over, she would be like, in my opinion, she would be like overly flirtatious or like you're my soulmate and like I love you. You're my soulmate. It was like overly. It would be different from how she would act when we didn't have guests. So I remember we would just bring that up to her, how she would kind of change when we had company over, and it was kind of like a disregarding, like everyone and being overly flirtatious, like to a point that was like, wait a second, you know? So once we made that a point, I apologize. Once we made that a point, she got upset. She got really upset and disrespectful. And she was like,
So who was she upset and disrespectful?
well, her energy was like frustrated and like attitude because we were just telling her she was pretty much upset with everyone who spoke upon like her behavior.
And who spoke up in front of her? Was it males, females, Mr. Bishop? Who was
I believe I did. I know I did, and Portia, I think Queen Malia did, and I think Mr. Bishop was just agreeing with us, if I can recall. But I remember that once we started saying, like, addressing her behavior, she was like, her lip was going up, and like she was getting attitude with us. And in my opinion, it's because we did have a guest over, because the nature of the family was everybody pushing towards to be a better person and to be a better character. So if we see anybody not upholding, the morals that we live by, we would just address it.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So, but did you address it in a confrontational, violent type way with her?
Well, it was, I wouldn't say it was confrontational. I would say just making a point, like a certain point, because Natiri, every time she left, she would go online to our hate groups and talk down on us and defame Mr. Bishop's character and says he's this and he's that, and really disrespect us. And then she'll apologize, and then she'll come back. She's like, I love y'all, and, y'all are my family, I apologize. And she did this, I would say, over 3 or 4 times. So with her, Mr. Bishop is a very loving person. I feel like a lot of people take advantage of him because he's so forgiving. And so when she came back that last time, we were just holding her accountable for her actions because she constantly blatantly disrespects, everybody online.
Okay. So by keeping her, I guess, accountable, did anybody, including yourself or Mr. Bishop, punch her in the head or face or stomach or anything like that?
No, nobody punched her.
Okay. Did Mr. Bishop direct anybody to hurt her anyway?
No.
Okay. So does she decide to leave?
Yeah, she did. So after we, addressed her and she started to get attitude, I remember Zoka did slap her or whatever, because she was being disrespectful. So it was a natural family fight. Families get into scruffles sometimes. It wasn't like she was being, it was just tension, I feel like, between the women because at that point we were just kind of tired of like her behavior. So she said she wanted to leave after that. She said she wanted to leave, and we're like, okay. And she started getting her. I remember she went upstairs. She went Zoka went upstairs with her so she can pack her bags. And I remember at one point she started to get loud. I started to hear like it started to get very loud upstairs. So I went upstairs and I was like, you need to be respectful in our home. Like if you want to leave, just leave. Like pack your stuff and just leave properly. You don't have to make a scene because I feel like a lot of women come and they leave like out of anger or like because they're not getting their way, not a sane or I want to leave. Like it's out of emotion.
Out of jealousy?
Out of jealousy.
Okay.
Out of jealousy.
So was Mr. Bishop around her when she was acting this way, or was it primarily the women?
Mr. Bishop, I think he was in his room because she was in the back room and the two ladies were with her as she was gathering her things.
Okay. And so did she go downstairs or did anybody order her to go downstairs?
Yeah, so after she got her stuff, I remember she tried to get something out of Mr. Bishop's room, but she was like stomping with an attitude and pushing through people. And we was like, wait, like we'll go in there and get it because you just have an attitude right now and you're bringing a lot of destructive energy into the home. So somebody went to grab it and then she went downstairs. I remember she was sitting on the stairs for a little bit. I think she was getting her Uber. She was getting her Uber. And then when she was about to leave, she was walking out. It was like, is that your charger? I think it was Zoka. I was watching her leave out. Zoka was like, is that your charger? We need our charger back. Like, when you leave, just take what's yours and, don't take any of our things. And she was like, it's just a charger. And then she was like, she tried to go upstairs. She said that Mr. Bishop wouldn't treat her like this. Since the women, like it was an altercation with the women. So we were like kind of in a conflict at that time. So she was like, Mr. Bishop wouldn't treat me like this. I want to go upstairs and say something to Mr. Bishop. And so Queens told her to go back downstairs because she was just bringing a lot of energy, like being disrespectful. So she went back downstairs and she went to her Uber.
Okay. Did she come back inside?
Yeah, she did.
Did you witness her come back inside?
Yeah, so what happened was when she left, I went back upstairs to Mr. Bishop to tell him that she left. And we told him that she tried to go upstairs to say bye to him. She tried to come upstairs. And then he was like, well, she was trying to come upstairs. And we was like, yeah, what does she want? He said, what does she want? We was like, we don't know. He was like, okay, tell her it's okay for her to come upstairs then. And so we had yelled out the window, like, call him Poppy. Like, Poppy's calling you, So she came back upstairs, and then when she came upstairs, he was sitting, as soon as you go up the stairs, there's his room. He was standing like right in front of the room, and she came up to him. I was standing on the stairs, and she went up to him, and they hugged, and she was like, I love you. He was like, I love you too. She was crying and they were like hugging me. He was holding her. And excuse myself, me and Queen Malia was standing right there and we were watching, like, because they were having an intimate moment. So it was like we were just sitting there watching, and it was for like 3 minutes. So I was like, should I walk away? Because I felt like we were interrupting their intimate moment because they were like hugging and crying, telling each other I love each other. And
Where did you go to? Did you stay there?
I stayed there because before I left, they actually walked into the room. I imagine because they probably felt weird too that we were just standing there. So they walked into the room, and yeah, after that, when I went downstairs because there was a lot going on. Later that night, I seen her. We like crossed past each other, and she had a different outfit on. Well, before she went in the room, me and Queen looked at each other like, like that's what you wanted this whole time, like to get his attention. Like you made that outburst to get Mr. Bishop's attention because that's something that she always wanted. She wanted attention, and she wanted to be queen to have attention. So, in my opinion. So when I seen her, she had on a different outfit, so I assumed she's staying. And I kind of looked at her like, like you got what you wanted. And she like was kind of.
Objection, hearsay. Whatever she said is on
This whole case is.
Stop.
Sorry.
So,
All right. Go ahead.
so after you communicated or she communicated with you, did you guys go to bed?
Yes.
Okay, hold on, Mr. Harper. Let's Sheriff's Department do their thing. Okay, go ahead.
Afterwards, did you guys go to bed?
Yes. So after we passed each other, she like was blushing afterwards. After they had their moment, she was blushing. And it wasn't really nothing to be said because it was kind of understood, that she pretty much got what she wanted. Because we talk a lot, and she always said she wanted.
You can't talk about what she said.
Oh, I apologize, but after that, Mr. Bishop, he was live in his room, and I think I don't know if she was in the room with us. I think it was briefly, but we were kind of sitting in the closet, picking out our outfits for the next day, and she was like sitting down for a minute, and then after that, she went to the back room to go to sleep. She slept back there with Zoka and Sheba, I believe, and then me, Mr. Bishop, and Portia and Malia, we slept in the other room.
Okay. And after,
And then we woke up and she was gone the next day.
Okay. Just a couple of questions. So the reason she had a charger was because she had a cell phone.
Yes.
Right? Fair? So that means she had a phone and she was using herself.
Yeah, she had a phone she was using herself. Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to ask you is, and the state's going to ask you this, so I'm just going to go ahead and say this time. Do you believe Mr. Bishop is God? Do you explain what that means?
I believe that I live by the laws of my Yah. And one of the laws of my Yah is all things are consecrated from the divine. So I see God in everything. I believe you are God. I believe everybody in this room is God, broken up into different pieces, different vibrations and frequency of the oneness that we all come from.
Okay. So when you use the word God for him, you're not giving him, you're giving him that he's a piece of God the same way you would be.
Yeah, it's a piece of God, and for our documentary, it was part of our documentary to like make him the God. Like,
Okay.
part of our, yeah.
Is that where the three God characters came from?
Yes.
Okay. What are other characters that he had as well outside of three gods?
Yes, Mr. Bishop has a lot of characters on social media. He has Three God, he has Dr. Bishop, he has Totally Todd, he has Leroy, he has Uncle Fernando, he he has a lot of different characters that he plays on social media, and I feel like he's very misunderstood. And I feel like people try to put him in a box and paint him as something that he's not. And I feel like we can interpret a lot of misinterpret stuff from social media. And I feel like the Three Guy character really did bring a lot of attention because this is why this whole case is happening.
Okay. Now, going back really quick on almost done, March 24th, you were there, April 7th, once the police come, are you there at the house that night also?
Yes.
Okay, did the police question you?
No, it's been 2 years that I haven't spoke about this case until today.
Okay, so the statement that you given today, you wouldn't have given that statement before because the police never asked you, right?
The police never asked us. In my opinion, this case was very one-sided.
Okay, no, not your opinion. Just answer the question.
Okay. Did the police take your side? Did they ask you your side?
No, they asked me, did I want some water?
Okay. They never asked you anything else?
No,
Never asked you were you being falsely imprisoned?
no,
Or were you a witness of anything about March 24th, 2022?
no, we didn't even know why we were there. And we didn't know what was going on until we came back to the house and seen the warrant on the table. We were very shocked at this case and the charges.
Okay. Were there a lot of people there at the house that day on April 7th? Were there other people outside of you?
Yes,
When he was arrested?
yes.
Okay. And then the other thing is the state's going to ask you in a minute, so we can save them questioning. Since this case is going on, you've been in contact with Mr. Bishop, correct?
Yes,
You talk to him frequently,
yes,
like every day,
yes,
sometimes more than one time a day.
yes.
Okay. Has he told you or influenced your testimony in any way?
No,
Has he told you what to say?
no,
Has he told you how you would create what you would say around what other people would say? For
no. I'm saying exactly what happened that night. And I'm saying exactly what the accuser said as well. She said that.
No,
You
she said.
can't say that. And ultimately, you're here to tell the truth and let your story be told. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe that.
Does that a question? Does that require an explanation?
Let me ask her a different question, because the state's going to ask you this in a minute, so we'll go ahead and say this in a minute as well. Do you believe Mr. Bishop is the Messiah?
What do you mean? What is Messiah?
I have no idea. They're going to ask you, so I'm trying to save some time. Do you believe he's the Messiah? Whatever that means.
Well, I don't know exactly what that means. I do know that he is. He just started the movement of going back to nature.
Okay.
And teaching the importance of being in tune with nature.
Okay. I'll let them ask you questions about the Messiah. Maybe they can explain what they mean by that. And then the last thing is, were there rules in place and roles in place for women that they were beneath men in the group?
No.
Were there equality between men and women?
You said equality?
Equality. Were they on the same equal playing field?
Yes.
Okay, and if the women, for instance, didn't do what Mr. Bishop said, were there physical injuries that would happen to them if they didn't do what he said?
No, I grew up with my mom being in an abusive relationship growing up, and I wouldn't be defending or associating myself who abuses people.
Thank you.
Cross?
So you left to join up with Mr. Bishop and some other folks when you were 19, is that right?
I was 20.
You were 20, and you had finished 3 years of school,
Yes.
college?
Yes.
So you started college when you were 17 then?
I believe I was 18. I was 18.
And you have been with Mr. Bishop, I mean, other than the days where you go to visit, family or whatnot, since then?
Yes. Yes.
Safe to say you've sort of grown up with him?
No.
See, I'm saying like your formative young adult years have been with Mr. Bishop and his associates, right?
No, I wouldn't say that. 3 years in college, I feel like that was more so my adult years. In my last semester of college, I actually studied abroad in Mexico, where I lived in Mexico for 3 months with a Spanish speaking family. So I'm well developed in who I am, and I wouldn't say that I spent most of my adult years with Mr. Bishop.
But yet at that point you were sort of looking for something, right? And Mr. Bishop offered that, some sort of spiritual guidance.
Well, I was, after I came back from that trip in Mexico when I stayed abroad, I felt like I actually got more in tune with nature on my own. And it was a very enriching and beautiful experience for me. I feel like it opened my mind a lot to a different culture and, all the things in the world. So when I did come back to college after my trip, that experience just stayed with me. And that's when I eventually seen Mr. Bishop online. He was teaching the importance of the human being having their bare feet on the earth, how it gets rid of all diseases, and how it's supposed to be in a tropical environment, breathing the best oxygen and taking the best food for our optimum health and, happiness.
And you ended up, in the time you were there, you had mentioned Brianna Jacobs, that she was there for a little while.
Yeah.
I think you had said a couple of the places that she was with you, like Mexico and Vegas. She was also with the group in California and Hawaii as well, right?
Oh, she was with us in Hawaii. I apologize. She was with us in Hawaii, and you said California?
Yeah. Which I think would have been immediately after Hawaii, before.
I think so. It's kind of big.
And you talked about, obviously for a while you all have been in Atlanta, but back when you were sort of moving around the tropics and whatnot, the main thing that you all looked for in a place to live was isolation, right?
No.
It wasn't important to be sort of away from urban society so that you could be more in touch with nature?
Well, we were like maybe 30, 45 minutes from I would say the town. We were surrounded by nature. Yeah.
And so that was an important part of what the group was doing at that point, right?
I wouldn't say isolation. I would just say being in a space where you're not bombarded by billboards and stuff going into your mind. We were in an environment where we were surrounded by nature and practicing being more indigenous to the land.
And around that time, when you're in Central America or Mexico, I think it was around 2020, there was a time where you were considering leaving the group, right?
In 2020?
I believe it was 2020.
I'm not sure. I know my mom came in 2020. I don't know if I was leaving.
Do you remember a time when you were in a Jeep driving around, Mr. Bishop was with you, I think a couple other folks were with you, he was live, and he was talking to you about your sort of indecision about leaving or staying?
I don't recall that.
He keeps telling you, hold the camera up in the video.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
That was another thing to get the people's attention.
And that was before you all moved to Atlanta, right? That was when you all were somewhere tropical, because you're literally driving on the side of the cliff with forest and trees down there, right?
That was in that video. Where was that in? I think that was in Puerto Rico, because in Puerto Rico, we weren't necessarily doing the three God, but we were doing the other characters, totally tied and doing different things to get the people's attention. But when we did come to Atlanta, that's when the full character of three God.
So, let me just say, anything that is online that looks bad for Mr. Bishop because he's telling someone to slap someone, or he's just demeaning you for 45 minutes in a car, or like in that video, that's all an act, right?
Yes, stuff like that, those are acts. Sometimes we really did have disagreements sometimes. And then we had what's called a real, excuse me, but real.
Yeah, she could explain her answer question.
Well, I think we're beyond explaining the answer, we're just in the narrative at this point.
I agree. Go ahead,
Okay.
Ask the next question.
So, because we're, at this point, like, the outside world, it was seen as failure if someone left, right? Like, they were a failure within the group if they had to leave.
No,
You weren't going to your lower self.
we just acknowledge that the industrialized society takes from nature more than it gives. Like it cuts down trees to make buildings.
Sure.
We just acknowledge that. I wouldn't say
What does that
that.
have to do with your group?
Oh, sorry.
Finish your answer.
No, you can go ahead.
What does that answer have to do with how the group felt about someone leaving? Because they were going back into the industrialized society, you all felt like they failed at their mission to become their higher self, right?
I feel like a lot of people, well, when you come back into nature, I feel like a lot of, I don't know if anybody's familiar, but generational curses and like.
Hold on, can you answer the question first,
I think
please?
she's trying to do it.
Sir?
I think she's trying to.
All right. No, let me finish. Answer the question and then you can explain your answer.
Okay.
Okay, so repeat the question, Mr. Kennedy.
Was it viewed as failure when somebody left the group because they failed on their attempt to become their higher self?
No,
Your loyalty doesn't have an expiration date. You said that about, with respect to your feelings about Mr. Bishop, right?
my loyalty doesn't have an expiration date.
Exactly. That you will remain loyal to Mr. Bishop forever.
No, I'm remaining loyal to everything I want to do. I'm a grown woman. I don't feel like these questions have anything to do with Mr. Bishop.
Well, you don't know, that's not part of your answer. You just have to answer the questions.
Can you repeat that question? Because it wasn't really a question.
So you said before that your loyalty, you said, my loyalty doesn't have an expiration date.
Okay.
Talking about Eligio Bishop. Is that true or false?
That's false. When I'm talking about my loyalty, I'm talking about my loyalty in what I believe in, as far as being more close to nature. I'm talking about my loyalty with human beings being a part of the ecosystem and not going against the ecosystem. I feel like we as humans have come so far away from nature, and I feel like my purpose is to be here and to teach. If you go on all of our channels, we are teaching about our lifestyle. And I feel like that's what I've decided to do in my life, and that's what I'm doing. I wouldn't say that it's a loyalty to a certain person.
You learned those teachings from Eligio Bishop, primarily.
No.
Okay. I don't have any other questions here.
All right, anything else for her?
No, Your Honor. She can remain in court.
She may. Any other evidence or witnesses for the defense?
There will be an issue with probably.
Hey yo, if you enjoy this content, please support the channel at. And oh yeah, don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms, especially Rumble, because I can put content on there that I can't put on YouTube. So please support that. I will put my beacon link in the description box. That way you can follow me on all social media, Discord, Facebook, Twitter, wherever. You can follow me wherever. Please support the movement. CV Killer forever.